we're gonna go check in with Israel. Now, everybody knows that Israel is a Jewish supremacist country, a Nazi country, as I like to say. But yes, they are a Jewish supremacist country. And usually this Jewish supremacist country known as Israel targets Muslims. That's their primary target. They hate Muslims. They want to kill Muslims. Every single Muslim that they can possibly find, they want dead. According to Israel, the only good Muslim is a dead Muslim. That's what they all believe over there. You can go look at the polling. I'm not being hyperbolic. They like a 90-10 ratio. The Jews in Israel want to kill all Muslims. Like it's it is. They are a primitive, barbaric people, as I like to say. But usually they try to leave Christians alone generally. And that's primarily because they are heavily backed by Christian Zionists in America, or at least they were before their polling went through into the toilet and nobody likes them anymore. But even so, there's still a pretty large base of Christian Zionists. Oh God. Of Christian Zionists in America. So this one is going to be about Israel actually showing some of their disdain for Christians, because trust me, the Jewish supremacist state of Israel is not fond of Christians either. In fact, they fucking hate Christians as well. They just hate Muslims more. But this is one incident of them, letting their Jewish supremacist flags fly. So letting that freak flag fly. So let's go and watch this video by BBC. Israel soldier destroys Jesus statue in Lebanon. Let's see what this is all about.
The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has condemned an Israeli soldier who hit a statue of Jesus with a sledgehammer in southern Lebanon. The statue was mounted on a crucifix outside a church in a Christian village that had been occupied by Israeli troops. Mr. Netanyahu has said he regrets any hurt caused to Christian believers in Lebanon and around the world.
No, he doesn't. No, he doesn't. He fucking hates Christians too, man. All of these people, all of the people in Israel, the Jews at least, they hate the Christians, man. They despise Christians. So, but they despise Christians in the exact same way that they despise Muslims. They just despise Muslims more because there's more Muslims around them like that. But they hate Christians as well because fundamentally, in order to create a fervor around a fascist fervor around being Jewish, which is how they have constructed their country through Zionism, is they need to create an identity around Jewishness and an ethno-supremacist identity around Jewishness. Obviously, that's going to end up leading to you fucking despising Christians as well. So yeah, this isn't abnormal, by the way. There's tons of incidents of Israeli occupation forces committing war crimes against the Christians in Lebanon. They just try to hide it. And they're usually pretty good at hiding it. This one, I guess, just got out, escaped the censors. But yeah.
Well, it comes as the Israeli military has warned residents in southern Lebanon not to move around near border areas and not to return to dozens of villages, despite the agreement of a ceasefire that Israel has ordered its army to use full force against what it calls imminent threats in southern Lebanon, and says its troops will continue to occupy the area. Let's talk to our Middle East correspondent, Yolan Nell, who's in Jerusalem for us now. Yolan, tell us more then about what this soldier did to the statue of Jesus, because we've heard very strong condemnation of that soldier's actions from the Prime Minister, from the Israeli military, various other politicians as well in Israel.
Yeah, so the Israeli Prime Minister was quick to come out with his comments in English on his X account. I think understanding very well the international damage that this could do, this photo that's been shared widely on social media over the past couple of days. The Israeli army has confirmed it's a soldier who is at the moment in southern Lebanon, or has been in southern Lebanon in recent days. He's holding what appears to be a sledgehammer or an axe poised just over the face of this statue of Jesus on a crucifix that's been toppled. The understanding is that this is in the village of Double, which is in southern Lebanon, a Maronite Christian village. This was a family's own shrine on the edge of their land, at the edge of the village. It's not clear exactly at the moment what damage was ultimately done, but the Israeli army is saying that they will help the Christian community there to repair this statue. The foreign minister of Israel, Gideon Saar.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. What? If this is in a southern city, they're going to try to completely occupy and steal this territory. So they're not going to give a shit about, like, they're not going to do that, dude. Come on.
Came out and said that he apologized for this incident and to every Christian who had been hurt by it in their feelings. So you can see that this has really...
It's silly. It's silly. They're Jewish supremacists. Like, of course, this is what they think about Christians. Like, I also think it's so funny that, like, Christian Zionists continue to support Israel in, like, droves, considering how much they all hate them. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they despise Christians. It's insane. I don't know. It's a very absurd... I keep saying it, but we just live in a very absurd world, man.
Really sort of, had a big effect, and that the local priest there told the BBC in Beirut that this was a desecration and, really extremely upsetting for the Christian community in southern Lebanon, in this wide area, which is currently occupied by Israeli forces, thousands of Israeli forces on the ground there. They see this as being a stronghold for the Shiite Muslim group Hezbollah.
And Yolande, what's the wider context of what's happening in Lebanon with that fragile ceasefire?
So some developments in the past few hours, because you remember that when that ceasefire was declared by the US last week between Israel and Lebanon, with Hezbollah saying that it would stick to it and crediting Iran with getting that deal across the line. Well, the White House also said that it was ready to host the leaders of...
Did Hezbollah say that they were going to stick to it? I don't even remember hearing that. If they did, that would have been news to me.
Across the line. Well, the White House also said that it was ready to host the leaders of Israel and Lebanon for historic...
What the fuck? Who cares? Why are you asking Lebanon to go there? Lebanon has nothing to do with this. It's Hezbollah. You need to ask Hezbollah to become a party to the negotiations. And you need to negotiate with them as equals, because they're, like, militarily able to compete with Israel. And I don't... They just keep, like, asking Lebanon to go to these talks, and it's, like, infuriating. It's like, why are you even asking Lebanon? They don't... I don't know. It just seems you're asking the wrong people to come to the negotiating table.
Peace talks between these two countries that have technically remained at war since the State of Israel was created back in 1948. Now, the Lebanese president, Joseph Aoun, says that there will be a Lebanese delegation that is sent along to talks, and that will be headed by a former Lebanese ambassador to the US. He has said that the goals of Lebanon in those talks will be to end Israel's occupation and to deploy the army of Lebanon right up to the borderline. Israel has previously been saying that its goals in any kind of long-term peace deal will be to make sure that there is the disarmament of Hezbollah.
Yeah, no, okay, Lebanese army isn't going to do jack shit. Number one, that conflicts with Israel's goal. Israel's goal is to take over as much territory as possible in all directions, but in particular, in this case, Lebanon. So they are trying to steal that territory. That is their primary goal under all circumstances, is to steal the territory. So the Lebanese army will never be allowed to go, if Israel will never agree to a situation where the Lebanese, they're going to pull out of that territory, and then the Lebanese army is going to come in and, I don't know, militarily protect it or whatever, right? Israel will never agree to that. The only way that Israel will leave that territory is if they're pushed out. And the Lebanese army is incapable of pushing them out, in my personal opinion. Number one, because they're not willing to actually start firing on Israeli occupation forces. I haven't seen them shoot one missile over at Israel either. I haven't seen the Lebanese army shoot a single missile over at Israel. So they don't have the will to do that, but they're also incredibly weak. The Lebanese army is incredibly weak and not able to do like anything really. So then it's like the only way that Israel will leave that territory is when Hezbollah inevitably pushes them out. And I say inevitably because Israel is just like, the IOF is an incredibly weak army, and they are overstretched already. They're only ever used to fighting civilians. They're only ever used to killing like babies and shit. So they're not used to actually like fighting an actual militant group like Hezbollah, or even Hamas as well. And so Hezbollah will inevitably push them out. They're not going to be able to militarily control that territory. So I don't know. I'm just like, we'll see what happens. But my guess is that these negotiations with Lebanon are not going to do anything. Israel will continue trying to occupy and take territory for the foreseeable future in Lebanon until Hezbollah inevitably pushes them out, like they always do every single time. So I don't know. That's kind of my expectation of what goes on here.